All right, welcome to the Team GPT podcast.
2:54 this morning.
Yeah, we have our special guest Dan today, who's not even weighing in enough for his class. We just talked about that in the last one, but he should actually gain weight. You should eat a sandwich. Dan, say hi.
Hi, I prefer.
That's it. Stop.
Okay.
Until you eat a sandwich, you gain some weight. Eat donuts.
There's donuts right there, dude.
Thank you to Flanders.
Sponsor.
As always, Brian, say hi.
Hello.
Myself, Ryan.
Owner of the podcast.
SI, it says owner of the podcast.
Flanders, this guy.
We're going to do a little bit different one this time. We're just going to talk about like stress and how it relates to training and coaching and things that we can maybe do to help regulate the stress as much as possible. We've got someone here who's got way too much outside life stress, so this is probably a terrible person to have this podcast with. We've got another one here who probably doesn't handle all the stress as well as he should. Like has a nice little weight drop right before the meet.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
And then we got someone here that just coaches everyone and deals with the stress of everyone.
Yes.
So this should be a terrible podcast. Thanks for listening in.
We have a dazzling spectrum to work with.
So the question, the actual question that was, how does stress outside of the gym affect training, and how do you adjust that as a coach or an athlete? So I'll start, and then you guys can talk about your own kind of experiences, I guess.
Sure.
I mean, everything we're doing is stressful. So your job, school, your multiple jobs, your boyfriends, your girlfriends. I didn't mean you two. I meant like for the listeners.
Very
I just like the
specifically,
direction where you headed.
Direction-oriented hand towards me.
Nutrition, sleep, training. All these things are stress. So we're looking at it as like, what can we actually control? You really can't control your job. You're not going to be able to control school. You can control your training. You can control your nutrition, your sleep. You can. Not everyone does.
Yes.
So, I mean, first off, the things that we can do to try to make this better are try to get enough sleep in, try to eat correctly, which I know a lot of powerlifters don't necessarily like to do. It's getting a little bit better. People are realizing, how much that helps. I know here we have like 12 or 15 of our members now are working with Al, who's our team registered dietitian. Hey, Al.
Albus Dietetics.
It's not the real name.
That's
But anyway, and they're starting to see like how much of an effect it does have on their training. So the nutrition is a huge aspect. Getting enough sleep. Just talked to Mags, one of our lifters, who she was talking about next Friday. She's got a concert that she's going to. So I was like, do you really want to deadlift heavy Saturday? She's like, nope, good point. Not Saturday, Sunday. Because she's not going to get any sleep Saturday night. So why do it Saturday and have a bad day because you didn't sleep at all? Mm-hmm. So she's going to take the time to recover, come in Sunday, hit a heavy day, pull a ton of weight. And then training. And that's the one that I think we're actually going to try to talk about the most here is how can you adjust your training as a lifter or as the coach? How can you adjust the training for someone to make sure that we're getting the most out of it without, I don't necessarily like the term overtraining. I don't think overtraining is a scientific term that I don't think many people are overtrained, but maybe just under recovering and just not getting enough recovery so you're not performing up to your standard. And we just talked about this in another podcast, but we talked about auto-regulation. I think lifters need to be able to understand themselves, and as a coach, I can't be there with you for every single set you do, so I can't say go up 5, go down 5, whatever. But you need to be able to know that if you didn't sleep at all last night, or you came in on Saturday morning and you haven't eaten breakfast yet and you're not feeling great, then maybe you're not going to push all of your work as hard as you possibly can. Those are one of those days you just got to get the work in. Just get it done, move on, have another day where you can do everything correctly and just have a better day. And that's where you have to pull back a little bit. And that lack of stress from training, from having an easier day, will hopefully let you recover in every other aspect of your life. As a coach, if I know someone's going through a very stressful time through whatever, and you and I were just talking about this with coming up with finals, finals time, I coach a lot of college athletes. This is a point where the next few weeks, when this podcast comes out, it'll be way back. But we're at the end of April right now. The next couple weeks are going to be finals, and training is going to take a little bit of a back seat because you can't just say no to your finals and do poorly. So you have to study for that and go to class and worry about that. So as that stress level goes up, as a coach, I'm going to pull back and maybe we're not going to go as intensely, or maybe we'll just do less volume depending on the person, like what we're going to work on and where we are in the program to see how we can handle it. I guess I'll shut up a little bit and how do you, like you guys, like let's start with you since you're probably the worst at it on the planet. Dan was in the hospital like a day ago and then came in and tried to do a double today, because that's how Dan rolls with stress. So tell us what not to do.
Everything I do.
So kind of take this as a guide to avoid. So talking about external stressors, I mean, obviously, I'm a full-time pharmacy student. I do work during the week. I'm currently on a software development team, and I coach 16 athletes. So, I mean, objectively, it seems like a lot, and subjectively, it is a lot. But I think, managing stress is the key. And not really like setting up timetable to get everything done. More of just finding things that you enjoy and really just using that time that you do have to enjoy like certain things, like coming in. Like I haven't been feeling well lately. I went to bed at 6 a.m. last night. I had some work I had to do, so I slept 3 hours and I came in, and I don't get to come here a lot. I texted him on Friday with an ambitious request saying, could I do a double? Came in, I did about a set of bench, and I said, no, not going to work. And I think doing that and enjoying the time with, people I really like and people I care about is more important to me right now than, doing a workout, because all that external stress destroys your training if you don't try to find things you enjoy, and one, like, especially going into a meet, like I was supposed to do the May 6th meet, but again, I sleep probably 12 hours a week, which isn't good, and so I said, no, we're going to wait till, finals are over and my exams are over, and we're going to do a meet during the summer, and from an athlete's perspective, having a coach that's really understanding about that is important, because a lot of the things I do doesn't make sense to the average person.
Or the world.
Or the non-average person. So from an athlete's perspective, it's really important to have a coach that understands that lifting isn't the most important thing in your life, and that, as you say, life does happen. So I think that's super important. And being a coach, I coach a lot of students too who go through, like the whole finals thing. And the thing I tell them is like the example with Mags. She wants to go to a concert on Friday. She's stressed from work. To me, as a coach, that's more important than her waking up, Saturday morning and crushing those deadlifts, because you shouldn't sacrifice things that you enjoy for, one day of training. If you really want to,
or to turn around though a little bit, like even if this is something that maybe this is your enjoyment.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this is your stress relief, because a lot of people do use training as a stress relief. In the regard of, you still have to prioritize.
Yeah.
I know you love to train, but finishing pharmacy school is going to be a little bit more important than your bench today.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like you just said, like not doing the May meet, waiting till after finals is done and doing a meet in the summer is smarter, because you blowing off school to come train is just a ridiculous concept.
Yeah.
So you have to prioritize accordingly. And we were just talking with one of our other lifters, Steve's doctor of physical therapy student, and he just did a meet a couple weeks ago, and he said he would have loved to have done the May meet here, but it's right around his 2-year cumulative testing, and he's like, there's no way I can study for that and train for meet at the same time. So we did a little bit of a different meet to make sure he could do what needed to be done, but he still got his training and still did his meet. So I said, kind of taking a little bit different, like going towards you, and you can expand on everything. But I know, like for you, we always talk about how, like, you're a little overweight right now, a couple pounds over your weight class.
It's a really nice thing to say.
And
That's unfair.
and guaranteed you're going to drop like 8 to 10 pounds right before the meet because not even and I think for you it's not actually your own training.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you've been coaching people now for a little over a year and you've got people lifting and you're more worried about what they're doing, so you stress out and then you end up not eating accordingly, and all of a sudden you drop 10 pounds and oh yeah, I made weight easy and I didn't have to do anything. So
It isn't always the healthiest approach, but it's the approach that I've expected now. When we go to nationals and we're handling 20 to 30 people throughout the week and never leaving the warm-up room and not eating except for like donuts and whatever food we could find.
Baby powder.
Baby powder, yeah. I usually eat baby powder. It's good.
You just inhale it.
Yeah.
the Nationals cough.
Yeah. That's
Baby butter and chalk.
it seems a bit much. Anyway, I've gotten used to that happening where the point like I do want to control everything outside I can about nutrition, calories, everything I can control to make sure my weight's steady. But it's coming to the point where I do for certain meets like this meet, like I'm helping you run the meet, I'm coaching and I'm competing. So the stress I know at this point take a toll on my nutrition, and I drop weight anyway. So I've adapted to that. But the biggest thing for me is like my timing is terrible, just in life. Like it's just not my strong point. So that's the biggest effect on my training. Like today, I was going to train, and then I forgot we were filming a podcast, so I didn't train. But I'm going to have to make like an hour or two next week to make up for it. And even like I pulled back from usually doing 4 days a week to 3 days a week because I'm busy with work, and sometimes when I'm in here, I'm not, exactly focused on my training itself. Maybe I'm doing something else and I get sidetracked. But I think for me, the biggest thing, I guess I would relate to stress is just timing. Is learning how to, like, if you have school and if you have work, making sure you plan ahead to set, what you can do, but like even like a couple hours in the gym, and if you need to split up a workout between a few days, or managing that is my biggest.
Well, I think
issue.
you just said, and I think that was smart. Is like that. It's not that you didn't say, okay, I'm stressed with all these things, so I'm going to give up training.
Yeah.
You're still training. You just made a conscious decision to go from 4 days a week to 3 days a week.
Yeah.
It's not like by losing that fourth day that your training is going to be garbage.
No.
You just deadlifted a PR last week.
Yep.
You squatted like 98%, I think, of your max like a week ago, and you benched like 98%. So even like under a stressful time, your numbers are as good or better than what they've been in the past. So it's like you've adjusted accordingly to make sure that works.
And again, I'm looking ahead. Like I know that's this snapshot in time, but
Right.
like over the year, if I look back and like what I did, or if I look back in the past 2 years, 3 years, I know I'm still progressing because I'm doing what I can and managing to do what I can do.
And that's, I think, the whole point of this, like this stress talk is like prioritizing correctly to make sure that you get what needs to be done in, and that you can still do what you enjoy.
Managing the time you have left.
We were talking about one of our lifters before. We've got actually two of our lifters are on very different ends of the spectrum. We have one lifter, Ayla, who's here 6 days a week, and then we've got someone, Stephanie, who's here 3 days a week.
Yeah. Both are still progressing.
Yeah, both are progressing, and nothing. It's not a shot at either one. Ayla's got more time to be able to be in the gym just based on her life stresses right now, where Stephanie has a little bit less time to be in the gym, so she's here 3 days a week. Ayla's got 6, Stephanie's got 3. Most of our lifters are probably 4 days a week. Some shoot for 5. That sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't. But they're all getting their work in. They're all training accordingly. And just finding what you need to do to make sure that you can control that and still progress. If you're finding that you're not progressing, or you don't want to train, or you're just tired and beat up all the time, then something needs to change.
Yeah.
The easiest thing to change is your training. Maybe you need to pull back just to recover a little bit more. Maybe you need to eat a little bit better.
Sleep more.
Maybe you need to sleep more. Maybe you need to supplement a little bit better to make sure that you're getting in what you need. And as I say that, both of us are drinking caffeinated drinks here,
Yeah,
which might not be the best option, but
it's an option.
more of the one lines of like the supplements help you recover, help you sleep a little bit better, or making sure you get enough of the protein in so you're eating correctly. And so like if you're, you didn't eat because we're on the floor coaching everyone, instead of having Flanders donuts over here,
Yeah, that's a meal.
a protein shake would probably be a little bit smarter.
Yep.
Still have the donut if you like it.
Yeah.
Again, that's another stress thing. But planning comes down to it, and I talk about this all the time. Like I think I'm a very good planner. That doesn't mean I'm a very good executioner.
Is it executor or executioner?
I don't execute well
I don't think I'm able to execute.
as an executioner.
So you're
It's
very
still-
good at killing people.
I plan very well, but like I don't always follow through on my own plan. I need to execute better with that.
Yeah.
But I'm very good in the fact that like if someone says to me, "Hey, I just don't have the time right now."
Yeah.
Okay, this is how we're gonna adjust the plan, blah blah blah, and we can get it to happen. And you can still do what you want to do and still progress at it, and not bury yourself.
But that's I guess from the coach's side, like you've seen so many angles, whether it be on meet day, something happens, or training, and that you're able to adjust on the fly. And that's like, from a coach's point of view, I guess, like having different directions to go based on someone's stress level or someone, missing a lift and their stress level based on that. That's a really valuable skill to have, because that's like, we've been to meets where like you feel like the world's ending because one little thing goes wrong, but then the next time like, oh, I've done that before, it's fucking easy. This is the one thing you do. So in managing stress in that respect from a coach's point of view, that's like one of, I think, the most valuable things that I'm still learning, that you could learn to not feel like the world's falling in on you every time one little thing happens. So,
or just fake it.
or fake it.
Fake it.
I've said this on an old podcast. I'm really good at looking like I'm in control on meet day. That doesn't mean that I'm not losing my mind as everyone's warming up and taking attempts, but
I think you just described my mental status
All the time?
24
Every
hours a day.
but you need to be able to have that state of control, even if it's faking it a little bit until you actually get it done.
Yeah. That's, if you could manage the stress that happens and filter it to your lifter, that's probably a pretty good skill to have.
I think we're going to call that one here today, right?
Yeah.
Try to keep that one a little short. So this is a Team GPT podcast. I'm going to do it for Syed here. He's in the background right now. TeamGPT.com if you're interested in coaching or anything. A big thing, Instagram, Team GPT. We're on iTunes now. SoundCloud. I don't know what else.
Patreon.
No,
We're not. He
on
keeps
Patreon
doing that.
yet. If you want to set up our Patreon, by all means.
I don't know what
Yeah.
Patreon is.
Give us a listen. Send in your
We'll talk about
questions.
it after.
No one's listening to me anymore, even though I'm the host right now.
Are we on Pornhub?
No.
These are all getting edited. Send us your questions and we'll see what we can do.
Thank you so much for listening. To send in questions, DM me on Instagram at Syed_likes_stuff. Follow the gym on Instagram at Team GPT. For more information about the gym, visit GleasonPerformance.com and join the team. For online coaching, go to TeamGPT.com.